Well, hello and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program. This is episode 16 of my career that we have been working on together here on YouTube for a while. And we just put satellites around the moon, did a flyby, and what do you know? Now we have tourists that want to fly by the moon. And we'll in orbit around and so forth. So we're going to go ahead and make money off of these people because we can. And it just so happens that off screen, I went ahead and built a ship that can handle 20. I do not know. That was that's 14, it's 18, and we can bring along a couple of our own crew just for the giggles if we want. So I guess we will. This isn't much to this ship. It's kind of silly. But here we go. It is basically one large storage unit, well, not storage unit, whatever we call this, storage container, there you go, and surrounded by these crew cabins. So that equals to 20, and we have a probe core in there, so we really don't need any crew. But we'll go ahead and fill it up with tourists. And just for the fun of giving them credit or experience of doing it, we'll go ahead and put in those extra two, fill up the seats. All right. So this should be pretty straightforward. It's just a trip into the orbit of Kerbin, and then we'll zip by the moon. We'll hit an orbit there, and then we'll zip on home. And hopefully this all works. Alright, I'm going to bring the thrust back, and then I'm just going to start trying to tip this thing over. We have a lot of engines pushing this thing up, but it's not a very controllable. It's not going to go into the orbit that I want it to very easily, which is not great. We will get it over. And we will get some benefit from this lateral propulsion, but it's not nearly. I mean, I should be at twice as far as where I am now already. The good news is we're going fast enough that I can do pretty aggressive turns at this point in time, and we're still going to hit orbit. So I'm just going to go ahead and really force this down here. And that will help out quite a bit. And get rid of those. And as you can see, I mean, we have a kind of high apoapsis here from what I'd really prefer. But again, it's okay. We got plenty of fuel. And we'll just go ahead and do it and give these tourists the time of their lives. Okay, we are in space. We're going to go ahead and lose that. All right, slowly we're getting there. We have a pretty long burn, which, it's all right. But like I said, we should have plenty of fuel to do this. It would have been a shorter burn had I gotten lower, use some of that thrust to give me some more sideways momentum than going straight up. But again, you use those powerful, cheap rockets like I've been doing, and that's one of the side effects is it's just not quite so easy to control them. But man, they're cheap. do this for time accelerate this in the game. I'm not really too worried about being perfectly on the line here with this. I don't. It doesn't have to be a perfect orbit. We just need to be able to get to the moon. See our relay system and our science satellite. And there we are. Alright, so to get to the moon, we'll probably want to burn about there, maybe? Yeah. Give it a rough guess, and then we'll adjust. Oh, there we go. Alright. Once again, we'll move to this. Looks like we're going to need about, 42, 43 seconds on the clock before the node, before we start firing. Yeah, it's about perfect. Timing or whatever. And we'll do it now. It's got a nice orbit here. We're going to go through it. I mean, it should be pretty easy, I'm hoping. And we're slowly getting there. Slowly getting there. I'm going to speed that up. It's always good to fast forward in the timer. It's nice to have that feature. Oh, looks like we... That's a little wobbly. All right. Where are we at? That should be good enough. I'm going to go ahead and stop it there. We're going to go ahead and fast forward. All right. We are now... I don't know if that counts as a... It'd be a flyby. I'm not sure if that counts as a actual orbit of the moon. So we're going to go ahead and make sure we fulfill those... Actually, we can just look here and make sure we fulfill those contracts. Yeah, we need to orbit the moon. So we shall do that. That's good enough. And we ultimately just need to burn retrograde. So I'm going to go ahead and just set it to there. And then we'll fast forward to here. All right. Warp to next maneuver. And trying to... It doesn't have to be perfect, as I was mentioning. We just have to get a simple orbit to get this contract, all these contracts fulfilled. Burn is seems long, but it's a pretty not real that powerful of an engine. So, all right, we have met that. Everybody is in orbit. Everybody should be happy. So we're just gonna basically go ahead and burn prograde again and pop out of orbit. And we'll be pretty much right back where we wanted to be. Well, that's a little weird. Let's keep burning it down. And once we get further out of the control of the moon, we'll make this a little cleaner. But that's good enough. We've got so much. We've got so much fuel left. All right. So let's go ahead and we will... All right, I'm going to come down to the periapsis here, and we're going to add a maneuver to burn that all the way down. Not to nothing. Just below. I want to make sure we have it. I want to burn, though. I want to have more opportunity to burn retrograde to pull this down with the remaining fuel, because as long as we have it, let's use it. So that's why I just have it just in the tip of the atmosphere there at 69, as opposed to, you know, bringing it down for an actual air braking capture. All right, well, we have an hour before that burn, so we're going to go ahead and warp to next maneuver. And I'll fast forward this a little bit. It doesn't really matter. We're so far out, and we're so close to the apoapsis, it just doesn't matter. Or periapsis, it just doesn't matter. And so this should be pretty easy money. I didn't really pay attention to how much the ship costs. We'll go ahead and look before we end the video. But each one of these Taurus is paying us over $100,000, and some well over, for all of these combined. Just the fact that we jammed 20 of them onto this ship, there's pretty decent profit margin. And as you can see, we are bringing this down. If we didn't have this type of fuel, this would be a little crazy, because, and I would definitely just air brake, but I'd like to circularize this back as much as possible, especially since this is a new craft that we've never flown before. So it's, I just want to make sure I see where that. There we go. 66 is fine. All right. We will come down to here. We will warp to here. And go basically retrograde again. We'll readjust and we'll just burn and pull this apoapsis down. Yeah, we're just above the atmosphere right now. And as we pull this down, I mean, we're just burning off a lot of speed. Now we're actually in the atmosphere. The music stopped. So I'm going to burn this down. Again, we're in the atmosphere. We're not going too far, only to about 65,000 feet. Now that's going to get dropped. Yeah, well, 66. It's dropping, as you can see, because of the burn that we're doing. But we're dropping this down pretty quickly. I'm going to go ahead and put this on the physics fast forward. And that's at least 4 times the speed, so we don't have to sit here and just wait for nothing to happen. Whoops. And there we go. Periapsis is about perfect. The apoapsis is 68. So that's nice. We can go ahead and I'm just going to turn this to the side a little bit so we don't accidentally run into it. We don't need that anymore. Crazy little craft, but it did the job. And we will get money back from a lot of these parts too. So even what the overall price tag in the vehicle assembly building, we can subtract what we saved here. And it's just an insane amount that we're going to be making on this, I'm pretty sure. We have a pretty decent amount right now. So all right, well, we're going as fast as we can. We are now past the apoapsis, and we're swinging back down into the atmosphere a little deeper, so this should go a little bit faster, and we should start seeing flames appear in a few thousand more meters. And yeah, unfortunately, like I said, when you're in the atmosphere, you can only speed it up to 4 times the speed, so this is pretty interesting little mission, though. I mean, can you imagine just shoving 20 people, 20 civilians, no pilots, well, I guess there are pilots on this one, but they didn't need to be, and fling them around the moon and then bring them back? for $100,000. I think that there'd be a lot lining up for that. Of course, I really don't know what 100,000 Kerbal dollars equals, but here we go. Well, at least it's starting to get hot. We're down into the, we're almost into the 50s, and as soon as that starts to happen, the air gets thicker and thicker. As you can see right here, it's going to get to a thicker part, and this just slows down more and more and more. You can see, I mean, we're very slowly bleeding this off, and we just don't have that much resistance, but it's going faster and faster and faster as we drop further and further and further. And as that drops further and further and further, the apoapsis comes down and the periapsis comes down. In fact, the periapsis is already underground, so we're on a steeper and steeper trajectory, and it's really bleeding off now. That's quite a thing to, face the wind with. That's like a barn door, probably several barn doors. So it should give me some pretty decent braking power, and obviously it is. I mean, look at how fast it's dropping now. All right. We're going to go ahead and put out the drogues. And I have a preposterous amount of parachutes after this, so I really don't think this is going to be a problem. The only problem that we're going to have here is this thing's going to be dropping so slowly because of all of these parachutes that this is going to take just forever. Even at 4 times speed, it's going to take forever. This whole landing seems like an eternity to me, but that's okay. It's good video content, right? It's outer space stuff. It's science fiction, or science fact maybe, because it did happen. We just saw it. All right, we're getting closer, closer, closer. Less than 10 seconds away, so that's less than 10 seconds away from non-sped up. So, all right, we've made it. We're going to recover the vessel. And so we had 18 paying customers on this. So that was close to, here we go. That was close to 20,000. I mean, because it's a little over 200,000 a piece. I mean, 2 million. So we probably made about 2 million on that. The rocket costs less than 100,000, and I forgot to look to see what we got back in parts, but you can scroll back and look at that in the video if you want. I mean, so we got off pretty cheap on that one, and we made a lot of bucks, and that's kind of fun. These are always fun. I'm never going to pass these up about testing these things orbiting the sun. It's free science, basically, and it's easy to get the stuff up there. So as you can see, we have a lot of things that we can still do. I don't really want to go back to the moon in any other capacity other than orbiting it for now. I want to actually go to Minmus next and land there. What I'd like to do is build up enough science that we can make an incredible lander, and we're going to need to have this. And in order to have that, we need to have that. And we're a little short right now on that. Those missions will actually put us over the top. So that's actually kind of exciting. We'll be able to hopefully do some incredible Minmus stuff coming up soon. May not be the next video. We may do some other stuff depending on what missions pop up is available. All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed this. And I want you to have a great day. I also want you to click like on this video, and I want you to subscribe to my channel. But have a great day and be safe.